Hey, welcome back to Surviving the Badge at the Surviving the Badge
Cheers.
bar. We appreciate you guys tuning back in.
Two cops in a bar talking cop shit.
We have got a really tragic, really weird case to talk to you guys about tonight and get a little bit of your input too. It's very fresh in the investigation and the case. It's a case about a poor girl that died in a bakery oven at Walmart. So stick around. You're going to want to watch this. All right. Welcome back.
Hey, I heard we have a little bit of news for everybody.
We do. We're going to be having a contest on this show where our sponsors have came forward and said that they want to help everybody out, being that Christmas is right around the corner.
Nice.
And they are going to give away a $50 gift card. And we're going to give you details about that. And it's going to be a code word you're going to have to email. We'll do all that a little later in the show.
So stay tuned for the code word.
You do want to stay tuned. $50.
I get to enter, right?
Huh?
I get to enter for the 50.
No family members or affiliates of the show are eligible to jump in and be a part of this contest.
You suck.
So it'll just be you viewers that are going to be able to win this $50 gift card from Amazon.
All right, tell us about Miss Carr.
Yeah, it's Gersamran Carr. She was a 19-year-old Walmart employee up in Nova Scotia.
Oh, a Canada.
And evidently she was found deceased, burned to death,
Right.
in a bakery oven in the Walmart.
Is there burning to death? Is that top ways to die? Drowning, burning to death, one or two?
I think burning to death has got to be the absolute worst.
I can't imagine anything worse.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think she caught on fire. I don't think it gets that hot, but it's hot enough to bake bread, rolls, pastries, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So 350, 400 degrees.
Enough to kill somebody. Apparently.
It's horrible. And the really bad thing is her mom works at the same Walmart.
Mm.
And her mom hadn't heard anything from her in like an hour.
Okay.
And started getting concerned, started calling her phone. She wouldn't answer her cell phone. So she goes and gets with the admin or the managers or whatever at the Walmart and says, "Hey, have y'all seen her?" And they're like, "No, I guess, we haven't." And so a wild search goes on.
Right.
The whole store.
Yeah.
And they're looking for her and they look everywhere. They went on for like 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
And finally the mother goes over to the bakery oven and opens the door and finds her daughter
I can't
dead
imagine.
inside that oven. I just can't even imagine what this poor woman
absolutely horrendous.
is going through. But, there's some weird stuff about this because there's speculation and there's all kinds of videos all over YouTube and little shorts where.
Oh yeah, on the Snapgrams.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of
Snapgrams.
Is that not right?
No, that's not right.
The TikToks. There's all kinds of.
Is that kind of like the nickel defense?
Nickelback defense.
Nickelback defense.
There's all kinds of these different videos that you were. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're showing that it can't be locked unless you push it and you have to pull a lever down to lock the thing.
I saw one video where this employee or whoever was pushing it and you had to actually like shove on it to get it to close. Yeah.
Yeah, it's airtight.
And then there was somebody else who was inside of it and they were trying to close it and it was very difficult for them to close with themselves inside of it.
And they've got a safety mechanism inside. It's like a big plunger like they do on the freezers that, if for some reason you got in there and the door did shut, you push it, plunger to open the door from the inside.
Right.
But here's the deal. If you're inside there, number one, you wouldn't have the oven on if you're in there cleaning it.
Right.
There's no reason to have it on if you're cleaning it.
No.
I mean, nobody can stand to be in over a couple of 100 degrees for more than 5 minutes.
No.
So you wouldn't have the oven on and you wouldn't close the door. And it appears, anyway, from everything I've seen, that it couldn't have closed all by itself and latched because it's airtight.
Now, we haven't seen body cameras. We haven't seen anything from the law enforcement.
Nope, no store cameras.
What was the cause of death? Was it death?
Don't know yet.
Or death by burning or the heat? Or could maybe somebody killed her and put her in there?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't said. But it sounds like to me like either somebody didn't like her or somebody. I mean, I want to think it's an accident, man, and they just shut the door. But you think they would have heard her screaming. And you can see in the there's a glass window.
Right.
You can see. So you think she would have ran to the door, pounded on the door, and said, "Hey, I'm in here. Let me out."
Right. And unless it's like overnight and they're baking, and it wasn't, and there's nobody there, you figure Walmart's going to be busy, people coming in and going.
Right. And I, so here is my question to you as an investigator, which you were for 100 years. What would be, other than the obvious, separate all the witnesses and talk to them, what would be one of the few things that you would be looking for if you responded to this and they said this woman was found in this oven dead? What would you be looking for?
The very first thing I want to know is cause of death. I want to know if she died, if it was a heat-related death.
Right.
Okay. Was there any outside trauma? Was there any head wounds? Was there anything that prevented her from calling for help?
Okay,
was she passed out? Was she knocked out? And I would hope that the autopsy would be the next day. That's the first thing I want to know. But while I'm there and investigating,
that's what I was going to ask.
Right. While I'm there, while I'm investigating, I can't imagine them not having some kind of video in that area. I'm gonna start establishing a timeline.
Okay.
When we I imagine we've seen there's tons of videos
when
inside
was she
of Walmart.
Last seen?
Right. When was she last seen?
Right.
Was she even assigned to the bakery? Was she in the?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I want to know, was she assigned to the bakery?
It sounds like it because somebody had made mention that that's the reason her mom checked over there, is because I'm assuming anyway, because she worked in that area, in the bakery, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to try to
eliminate.
It's
so new in the investigation.
Right. I'm going to try to eliminate if it was an accident. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to see if I can get out. See if there's any issues with the mechanisms. I'm going to look at any video cameras, and I don't know if they would have video cameras in the baking area. Check the video cameras. Check to see if it was an accident. See if there was any malfunctions. See if she was assigned to that area, and then do extensive interviews of everybody. Was there anybody who was there who shouldn't have been there? Anybody who was in there who wasn't on duty, all that kind of stuff, and then hopefully the next morning they do the autopsy and we get a cause of death.
So let's say that it was the cause of death was heat exhaustion. In other words, a heat-related death.
Right.
Where do you shift now? I mean, I know you covered a lot of this, but it's heat-related. There's no blunt force trauma. Her tox screen is clean. So in other words, she wasn't drugged.
Right.
And there's no bullet wounds, knife wounds. There's no injuries at all other than burns from that. Where would you shift?
I would find out what everybody is saying. I would go through all the interviews, see if there's anybody that stands out as being odd or suspicious. I'm going to find out from the mom. Did she have an argument with anybody? Narrow down if there was any
problems with anybody at work.
Right, work, or boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever.
Because they are of Indian descent.
Right.
Middle East, India.
Yeah. So I'm going to eliminate all that. I'm going to, like I said, do the interviews. I'm going to and are you saying that there was no malfunction of the door? Because that's going to be important.
Right.
That's going to be so important. I'm going to try to do, I would examine to see if there was any way to lock the door from the outside. Is there a locking mechanism? Can it be locked without it being on? And to see if there's any other safety. And I would have an expert probably from that company.
I was just going to say that I would call the oven manufacturer or the repair person, certified repair person for those ovens.
Yeah.
And have them on site.
Yep.
Within the day or two.
Yep.
Inspect that damn oven.
I'm locking that thing down. Nobody's using it.
Absolutely. Yep. And they have closed the Walmart since this incident. It has not been opened at all.
And we're thinking the same thing. I'm bringing in the expert. I'm bringing in the engineer from that company.
And
who
I'm
makes
videotaping everything they do on scene.
They're gonna tell me, yes, it can be this, or no, it can't be that. And we're inspecting and we're breaking it down. If there's any issues, any mechanical failures, they're doing a complete breakdown. Was this an accident? Or was it foul play?
And this really sets them up for, or not sets them up, but it could set Walmart up for one hellacious lawsuit if the mechanism inside, the escape mechanism inside, was inoperable.
Absolutely.
And it hadn't been fixed or anything else. Can you imagine the lawsuit from this family? And rightly so, if that's the case.
Right. I worked a robbery in our old department, and it was of a restaurant, right at closing time. Sometimes places get robbed.
Yeah.
So they put everybody from the restaurant into the freezer, and they robbed the place and they took off.
I remember that.
And there was a mom that was heading there to pick up their kid. And they're like, nobody's here. What the hell? And they call the police. Police come in, and they're locked in the freezer.
Yep.
And we're interviewing all the people in the freezer, and they're like, yeah, we were pushing the alarm over and over. Because there was an alarm button inside the freezer. We pushing the alarm over and over and over. Didn't work.
Yep.
I talked to the manager. I said, what's with the alarm not working? Oh, that's a corporate decision. I said, really?
Yeah.
Isn't that a you decision?
Yep.
And they're like, would it have made you come faster? I said, well, what if you had somebody in there bleeding to death?
Yeah, if the mother hadn't shown up when she did, they would have sat in there and froze to death.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
And the fail-safe didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
I know.
man.
Yeah. When I heard this, I'm like, that's exactly.
Yeah.
It was. We lucked out.
It did bring back memories.
Yeah. We lucked out. It didn't have the same.
That was up there on the west side, right?
Yep.
Yep. I remember that.
Yep.
Like
Sure
it was yesterday. I remember that. Yeah, because it was my shift that responded for the road, and then your shift came and took over. I mean, your guys took over.
Yeah.
All right, so before we go any further, let's talk about our beer moment real quick.
Yep.
And let's get on with the code word.
All right, so
and
today
see what we got going there.
Today we are drinking a Tucker Dunkel Hefeweizen.
Oh, it's good.
Oh my gosh, it is so nice.
It's good.
I love Tucker, and when I saw this the other day, I'm like, they have a dark Tucker?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't know.
Yes, please. Right?
I didn't know.
And dark beer is great at this time because it's going to be fall and all that. I'm hoping next time we can bring in some pumpkin beer. That's going to be good. I'm going to, I don't remember.
I think we may have done this many moons ago on a show, but man.
I want to give it an 8.5, 9 o'clock, 8.5, 9. It's really good.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So what do you give?
9. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, that's double 9s.
Right. All right. So our beer moments and our whiskey moments are brought to you by our sponsor every week. And here's a word from them.
Contact Mainstreet Realty for all your real estate needs. This power team includes Tom Clem, a veteran Marine and retired law enforcement professional. Okay, so now to the good part. Thanks to those.
I'm going to write this down so I can enter. Go ahead.
Thanks to those absolutely wonderful sponsors, Mainstreet Realty and the Kristen and Tom Clem Group. By the way, coasters to coast.
What
is their motto?
Yeah,
coasters to coast.
I love that,
and we appreciate that very much. So we are going to give away a $50 Amazon gift card. It will be mailed to you once you give us the code word by email. Now, here's our email: retiredcopsrule@gmail.com. It's right there on the screen, retiredcopsrule@gmail.com. It's also in our info on the thing, and I'll make sure we put a little more in there. The code word that you must email to us, okay? Are we going to do the first email, or are we going to do...
No, I think what we're going to do is
combine them all, and then...
We'll combine them. We'll do this for a few weeks, and then we will draw out of everybody who's entered.
Yeah. So we're going to give it... We got to give it a cutoff. So let's give it... What is today? The 1st?
Yeah, so the 15th?
The 15th of November is the cutoff. You must email us, and only one email, the code word. Code word is surviving the badge. That's the code word. Don't worry, on the next giveaway,
I'm going to email
we'll
it right now.
it. Surviving the badge to the email I gave you. Once we get all the names, we'll cut it off by 6 a.m. on the 15th.
Yep, November 15th, 6 a.m. Eastern.
Yes, Eastern time. That'll be the cutoff. We will enter all of the person's emails that we get. So make sure your email is visible when you send it. Otherwise, I can't enter you in the contest.
Right.
I'll enter all those into a random drawing.
One of those.
Yep, you do it on Google and they
Yep.
do a random drawing. I just have to sit there and enter all the names. You know what? I hope we get 5,000 entries.
Right.
But yeah, so $50 gift card. So thanks to our sponsors very much. All right, so moving along.
Now, you've been working on this case for a while. Anything you think I missed? What are you thinking on this for the investigation?
I'm thinking there's some nefarious shit that went on here.
God, my gut tells me.
I mean, 19-year-old girl, she's inside this damn oven, and why in the hell would you go in this oven in the first place? But if she is cleaning it, let's just say she is.
Yeah.
I think that somebody knows her schedule and when she does this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This happened on, what did I say, the 19th, October. What day is October 19th? I have to look it up.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they're going to know her schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's nefarious, I think that they probably said, okay, she goes in there and cleans it around this time. As soon as she goes in there, we're going to lock her ass in there and turn the oven on.
Yeah.
I mean, I pray to God that didn't happen. I pray to God it's an accident. But I just, man, the hair on the back of my neck stood up when I saw this case.
My gut tells me almost exactly the same thing. I think there's probably going to be a head wound or something. I think maybe somebody was making an advance towards her and she shut that down. There was an altercation. They bludgeoned this girl, put her in there, and made it look like an accident.
Yeah, I'm thinking like boyfriend, girlfriend, something went bad, and the boyfriend, she cut it off with him, and he said, okay, I'll fix you. Wait, and a coworker,
right.
Boyfriend or something like that, and then she went in there and he
closed
because the lock and knew that it couldn't be opened from the inside.
Right. Yeah.
They had to know that, man.
Right. Had to.
Unless they bludgeoned her or knocked her out.
Yeah.
Then they wouldn't care.
So, hey, guys, you tell us what you think happened here. If you have any ideas, if you have any speculation, or if we've missed anything, that this just came out, let us know right down below in the comments, and we will we'll listen to that. And while you're doing that, make sure and like and subscribe and hit that notification bell and pass it on to everybody else.
Yeah, this is a really weird case. We'd love your input on it. And as we may do a part 2 to this, as we find out a little bit more, on these odd cases, we kind of like to follow up. Like one of our shows coming up is going to be a follow up on a case that we did, I think last year or something.
Yeah,
so
23. Yep.
Yeah. So we like to do follow ups on these odd cases or these ones that really stand out. So,
and if you want us to look into anything, you have something. We just had a shooting last night in downtown Orlando. Yeah. We were going to cover, but we didn't have time to research it, and we didn't want to give out a lot of poor information. But if you have something you want us to talk about, also put that in
and we'll probably cover that Orlando shooting. A 17-year-old went and killed 2 people and injured like 5 or 6 more.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, we'll cover that in the next few weeks or so when we get more info. So guys, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. It really means the world to us. We don't make a dime off of this. We just do it for fun. We enjoy a few beers.
Talking cop shit.
Yeah, and we just have a good time. So don't think we're making a fortune off this, because we have not made one single red cent off these videos yet.
All right, guys.
Thanks to our sponsors. Thank God.
Right. All right, guys. Always remember, at Surviving the Badge,
still got your 6. Salute. Be safe out there.